oh boy. It's happening again. It's happened again. If you guys remember back in the day when the original Xbox 360 first made its launch, well, not when it first made its launch, but somewhere around the beginning of its launch, you guys remember Fox News did a video talking how the Xbox is now called the quote-unquote sex box, as it had an interactive sex scene in one of its games. Now, not only was this scene not interactive, but the actual scene was like, well, daytime television has steamier sex scenes than that thing. And they basically brought on a expert, if you will, to talk about it. And the reality of it is that in the end of the day, the expert was 100% wrong. She hasn't even played the game. So she had no idea really what she's talking about. So it looks like Fox News is at it again. And is it me? Or is every time Fox News says something stupid, they always have some blonde chick on there? I'm just saying. Have you noticed that? I'm just talking about it. But, here's the thing. Let's go ahead and play the video here and see exactly what's going on.
All right, my friends.
We're going to do a little weather here?
Oh, no, we're doing video games.
Oh, I like
Sorry.
the weather
I
open.
think that was a missed punch.
8:14.
Yeah, by the way, they did screw that up, by the way. It was originally, they put the weather transition there, and then it ended up being about this story. So even they are confused. Like, yeah, fail. But keep on going.
Here on Good Day, from behavior problems to obesity risk, the concerns over young boys and violent games is always out there, right? The new
Now, see, the problem is, though, it's always out there because of, like, well, I'm going to say it, ignorant newscasts like this. It's not real. It's not. The connection is extremely vague. Let me put it this way. How is it that video games are the cause of violence in young men when violence in young men was always there before video games was invented? Now, nobody came up with this, but, I mean, hey, what do we know, right? I guess. I'm just kind of using common sense.
research shows that there's also a big impact on young girls. Now, this is especially true when it comes to video games with overly sexualized female characters. You've seen the ads for these.
Oh, sure.
They're kind of out of control, in my opinion.
Right. Well,
now, interesting, Mr. John Brown. Here's the situation is, yeah, he's a blonde chick too, by the way. Can't you see? Look like a, anyway, I'm just messing. Anyway, but here's the thing about this. What is the last video game commercial have we seen? Now, if I remember correctly, Greatness Awaits, I think it was, which is a really crappy commercial, to be honest with you. It had really nothing. I mean, it had something to do with games, but it had no gameplay or anything like that in it. But the reality of it is that it didn't show, it really had no kind of sexuality whatsoever. Matter of fact, it was more like a Quentin Tarantino version of a video game commercial. Before then, the Xbox One had their sports one, and where are we getting these commercials with overly sexual characters? You know, when was this released? You know, when were these last commercials actually shown? But anyway, let's keep on going.
for instance, such famous video game characters like Lara Croft from the Tomb Raider series. A new study from Stanford shows that these types of characters have a highly negative impact on a girl's body image. And
okay, now, number one, let's talk about the first thing here. If you stated that the problem with America and problem with obesity and all that, you know, you mentioned that before, right? So how is looking at her going to have a negative impact? Wouldn't this be someone to go ahead and kind of want to be like? Don't you want to be like Lara Croft? Don't you want to have that body, that fitness? I mean, just saying. I mean, not that any of the girls really do that. I know a lot of girls out there who don't have the Lara Croft figure, and they are just fine, you know? But that's the problem, because shit that, the crap that Fox News always says never makes any sense. Now, we can already talk about the fact that they're using a Tomb Raider Underworld picture, which is like, when was Tomb Raider Underworld put out? I think it was like 2000 and... When was Underworld taken out? 2010? 9? I forget exactly when. But it's an old picture. I forget exactly when Tomb Raider Underworld... I would like to see when this was actually released. Give me one moment. I kind of want to know when Tomb Raider Underworld was released. Tomb Raider Underworld looks like it was released 2008. Oh, wow, I was really off there. So, yeah, 2008 was, in fact, when the game was actually released. So, really, we couldn't find, well, 2008, 2009, whatever. So, we couldn't find an updated picture, you know? And how is that too sexy? Like, seriously, how is that too sexy? You know? And yet, we're not talking about Playboy or, because that can't have a negative impact on there. We're not talking about cheerleaders, for sports, because that can have a negative impact. No, video games, of course. Video games, because, fake female right here, virtual female right here has got to have more of an impact on the connection with the actual real life girl than other real life females, right? Because that makes perfect sense. Let's keep on going.
Those girls are more likely then to objectify themselves in real life. Experts add that playing a character like this in a virtual world has a big, strong effect on gamers, adding that people tend to conform to their digital identity. And here to talk more.
Okay, no. I'm sorry. Really conform to your digital identity? Are you serious? So by that logic, every time I play Grand Theft Auto 5, right, I want to... Every time I play Grand Theft Auto 5, right, I want to be Trevor. That's what it is. That's what it is. Every time I want to be that, I want to be the dog, right? Is that what you're saying? No, it's not right, And that's the one thing that Fox News always says the stupidest crap. I don't understand why. Oh, and it gets dumber. Oh, it gets dumber when they bring on their special guest. That's when it really goes into the toilet. Compared to the special guest, this woman is a freaking genius. But let's keep on going.
More about this morning is life coach Jen Lee for our reality check this morning. Good morning, Jen. Always great to see you.
You too. It's really
like Fox News knows anything about reality, right? Right? I'm just saying. Been watching Fox News for a minute. Reality and Fox News normally don't go hand in hand. I'm just saying. Tell me if I'm wrong, but that's how I've always seen it. It's that Fox News is kind of like the Inquirer of news. It's like, I honestly, let me tell you something. I'm being honest with you. I actually watch Comedy Central newscasts over Fox News and consider those guys more real than Fox News. All jokes aside. Was it John? I forget the guy's names right now. I'm not good with names, you know that. But I watch those guys way more. Jon Stewart and, Stephen Colbert, yeah. I watch those guys way more than I actually watch Fox News because those are the guys that are actually more real than Fox News can ever hope to accomplish. Let's keep on going.
really scary when I was reading this article and studying up on what Stanford University came out with. And if you think about it, these are really powerful characters. So, of course, young girls are going to be drawn to them because they want to kind of get in there and kick some butt, just like the boys do. But they say that this is like even worse than watching Miley Cyrus twerk.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now decided to go ahead and compare, virtual characters to real life characters and apparently twerking. Moving on.
This has a bigger impact on there. And so we have to be careful about what we're allowing our kids, our young girls, use as avatars. And they say this doppelganger. In other words, if you use an avatar in your game that looks a lot like you, you can switch it up and make it look like you, you actually adopt their mannerisms.
Now, let's talk about that for a second. Adopt their mannerisms. Ladies and gentlemen, let me show you something really fast here because I really want to show you right here. Okay? This is actually what she's talking about right here. Hold on a second. Let me just go ahead and... This is the avatar. These avatars have no mannerisms. And then how are they going to adapt to this? This is literally what a Wii avatar looks like. Here's an Xbox avatar. Okay? No, these guys have no mannerisms whatsoever. They got a couple of animations, but no real mannerisms. Here's another Wii. Mind you, these are all female characters, Now, at what point do you honestly believe that your daughter is going to go ahead and have a crisis based off of this character? Here's another character right here. Here's another one in the Legion of Doom outfit right here. How do you see this as detrimental to our people? How do you see that? How do you see that? Last but not least, here's one. A close-up, and I put a close-up. I found one a close-up to her chest for one particular reason, anyway, to show the quote-unquote figure, because apparently that's also the issue here too. Do you see a decent figure? Do you see any breast or figure here? No, not really. In fact, this is as normal as you get when it comes to people of this day and age. This is pretty much it. So what are you talking about? And this is just one of the many things that I just don't understand about Fox News. Why do you insist on, literally doing this crap. You know? Just keep on going. Because it gets worse.
And they actually adopt how they eat, what they wear, even what they buy. And so,
I'm sorry, have you guys ever seen an avatar eat? Have you ever seen an avatar eat? Like, seriously, I've never seen an avatar eat. I have never seen a Nintendo Me eat. What are you talking about?
so it's very powerful, Amy.
And I thought this was really interesting. Those who choose these over-sexualized avatars.
Once again, let's take a peek at this again. Does this look overly sexualized to you? Does this really look that overly sexualized to you? Moving on.
I tend to think that they deserve negative treatment.
Yes.
Why would that be? That's crazy to me.
Yeah, I think it's because they're in it and then they realize there's wrong that's happening. And so when they have really negative things happen to them, they did this study afterwards that said, yeah, they kind of deserved it. They needed it. And so now what are we telling our young girls?
That our current generation females, such as Miss Lynn here, or whatever her name is dumb as fuck. Like, seriously, what? That doesn't even make any sense. Like, did you not? You look at the study, you're like, this is kind of off. Let's go ahead and kind of dig a little deeper into this, because right now, that doesn't make any sense, really. So, you're telling me that what happened was, they were playing with avatars, and she said avatars, right? So, we'll just pretend she's not playing with avatars. She's playing a regular game here. So, they were playing this game, and all of a sudden now, they all of a sudden are more thinking that they do. I can't even come up with a response to this because I don't even understand what the hell she is talking about. So you're telling me they were playing a video game and all of a sudden they felt like they were wrong in their something that they did? What? You know? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And that's that thing about Fox News and everyone they bring on there. None of them seem to want to make sense. Let's keep on going.
You know what? If you're out there being really powerful and something bad happens to you, you deserve it. I don't think that's a really good message. I mean, the big...
Okay, so if you're out there and you're really powerful and then something happens to you and you deserve it. Something happens to you and you deserve it. That doesn't make any sense. Like, seriously. If something happens to you, you deserve it. So if you trip, you probably wasn't watching when you're going, so did you deserve to fall? Okay. Let's see. Did you? Oh, okay. So what you're saying is that what happened is in the game, they were playing the game, and it ended up in a situation where they wind up losing a life or failing in the game, and they took responsibility instead of complaining that the devs are making an error or something like that. Is that what you mean? Because that seems like good. That's, yes, it probably was their fault if they went ahead and died in the game. Is that what you're talking about? That's the only thing that can possibly make sense into what you are talking about. But let's keep on going.
Reality check is, where's Nancy Drew? What happened to her?
Yes.
Right? We need to help our young girls find powerful characters and powerfulness in the...
Okay. Nancy Drew. She really... But you're talking about Pamela Martin, right? So what I'm saying is that this is what you want our kids to be? You know, with the see-through shirt and the bra, you can obviously see. Is that what you're saying? Our kids, our children, our daughters need to go ahead and be? Or how about this one? Same woman, is this who you think that we should be? Is this who our daughters need to be? Walking around there taking pictures with nothing but a trench coat on. Is that what you're saying? Or how about this one? We need to go ahead and make sure each and every one of our daughters are wearing transparent shirts with the booty sticking up in the air. Is that what you're saying? Or maybe this one. Is this what you're saying? Is this what we need to accomplish? This is who you want to go ahead and make sure your daughter acts like, right? Or maybe this one. This one was taken when she was actually recording Nancy Drew. Is that what you're talking about? This woman also did Playboy. She also did Playboy about the same time, at least the same year that she was doing Nancy Drew. So, not doing Nancy Drew, but you get the idea. So, what are you talking about? Apparently, you don't know what you're talking about when it comes down to Nancy Drew, too. So, I'm going to just stop it right there. There really is no need to continue here. The fact of the matter is, you know what? No, I'm going to continue because I don't want no one to ever say that I didn't give her her due. So, let's listen.
Themselves. Like, I walk around with a rustic cuff every single day, and that gives me my power. And let's develop some positive avatars for them.
All right, so So obviously, one thing that as a parent we need to do is to try to limit the time that they're playing these games, or to perhaps cut these games out altogether. But what else can we do to try to find positive role models for them?
Well, I think let's get back to some reading. You know, pay attention to what your young girls are reading. And also, instead of trying to live vicariously through a fictional character, why don't you present...
Wait a minute. If you're reading, then most of the time, a lot of books out there are, in fact, fictional books. So technically speaking, you are living through a fictional character. You mentioned Nancy Drew. She's a fictional character. What the fuck are you talking about? Are you serious? Like, this is what I'm talking about. The constant hypocrisy that comes with Fox News, and you wonder how stupid these people need to be. I got dogs out there that probably can do a better job than these guys can do right here. You know, really, let's not live through fictional characters, but let's bring up Nancy Drew, a fictional character, as a role model. Are you serious?
Some positive real characters in today's world, and what is it that some powerful women are doing today to change the world, whether it be through their community service, world outreach, or in business. You know, have them kind of follow those characters. And
here's the thing about this too, since you want to bring that up, let's bring up a fictional character. Let's bring back Lara Croft, because the reality of it is that Lara Croft was not the first female to actually be in a video game, but she did go ahead and kind of give the rise up to females, and to see that female characters were more than just damsels in distress. So technically speaking, she has done a lot. So I'm just saying, you know.
Have them write a story about themselves. This is an exercise that I did with a group of young girls several years ago. What's that power story that's...
Yeah, like 20 several years ago. Like, seriously, really? Let's sit down and write a story together, you know? I'm just saying. But, I mean, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's, you know, can't do that. But it really is, yeah.
Within you. You know, our own curiosity within us is more powerful than anything a fictional character Arthur could come up with.
No, it's really good. I made my daughters watch an interview with Malala the other day because I'm so inspired by her right now and what she's doing to try to change the world for women in the Middle East. You know, so you're right. It's all about finding the positive role models and presenting them to them. Say, here, watch this.
Fill their time with the things that you want them to mimic and imitate versus kind of giving up that time and sitting them in front of a game.
Such good advice. Jen Lee, love ya. Life Coach Jen Lee. Your website, please.
CoachJenLee.com.
All right, check her out. She's the best.
So I actually did check that out. You know, overall though, long story short, this is what I'm talking about. These are these people who come on here, these experts, if you will, and they don't be experts at anything. Like, seriously. Really? We're going to say, hey, let's go ahead and talk about Nancy Drew. Bring up Nancy Drew, right? A fictional character, but then later on talk about how you don't want to bring up fictional characters or, you know, use fictional characters. Really? You know, okay, I'm done, you know, but just, I don't know. Like I said before, it seems to me that Fox News always brings the stupid things, and they make sure that the blonde girls always say it. Have you noticed that? Have you really noticed that? I'm just saying. Anyway, rate, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think about this particular newscast right here. And if you want to go ahead on Twitter, I actually put her Twitter actually in the comment section below, so you're more than willing. You can go ahead and check her out too. I'm talking about the Jen Lee girl. You guys have a good night. Zeph out.